What is a Venn diagram? Webster Dictionary defines a Venn diagram as a diagram representing mathematical or logical sets pictorially as circles or closed curves within an enclosing rectangle or universal set. These include common elements of sets being represented by the areas of overlap among the circles. Now that's a lot of information for a very simple tool that can be used in all subject areas in any classroom. While I'm no mathematician, nor do I teach mathematics, I'm very thankful that John Venn, who was an English logician and philosopher, created this wonderful tool to use in my English middle school classroom. According to the National Council of Teachers, using Venn diagrams to assist students in their learning and representing their ideas can help them think more deeply about what they are trying to discuss. Another thing to do with it is to be able to write about their thinking and write and discuss the connections and the differences of what they are comparing and contrasting. In more recent years, Venn diagrams have only consisted of two circles that will help compare and contrast two different things. But when John Venn developed this, he developed the two-circle model and the three-circle model, which we now refer to as an advanced Venn diagram. Before my students began using this strategy of the advanced Venn diagram, I had to go over what a three-circle Venn diagram looked like and how it behaved. Most of my students had seen a two-circle Venn diagram before and understood the concept of comparing and contrasting two slightly similar ideas. The idea of three circles with 7 overlapping areas was a struggle for some of my students. They needed to understand that there were 3 separate areas where these elements could have individuality, and then there were sections where there were 2 overlapping and a center section where all 3 overlapped. Many of my students had to think more deeply in order to connect all 3 or certain ones. Once my students did a few practice advanced Venn diagrams together on the board, they were given their own advanced Venn diagram where they had to compare and contrast persuasive writing, argumentative writing, and narrative writing. Some of these were easy for them to fill in, such as the middle area where you could simply put writing, and then they were able to discuss how a narrative and an argumentative writing were very different. Then when it came time to actually discuss the 2 similarities, they wanted to be lazy. When I say they, I do mean a few of my apathetic gifted learners who thought they could get away with not doing nearly as much as everyone else. But when I let them know that that wasn't enough and they needed to do something more, they really wrestled with the concept of trying to figure out what the similarities were beyond letters and sentences. This strategy is so versatile. It can be used from young ages where students are trying to figure out similarities between colors or even letters, all the way up to older learners in college trying to understand the complexities of economic systems of different countries. I gave my students the 3 topics, the types of writing. I also told my students they had to have at least 3 things in each area, including the center section. But one of the amazing things about this type of strategy is if you're really trying to push your gifted learners, you might be able to fill in 1 type or 2 types and leave the 3rd or 2nd one open for them to be able to develop their own connections. This was a great way to move my advanced learners beyond the mechanics of writing in order to see the types of connections they made between the writing styles and between their ability to write. Students who were more comfortable with argumentative writing filled up the argumentative circle far more than the narrative area. I would strongly encourage every teacher to have this in their teacher tool belt. This advanced Venn diagram can be manipulated in so many ways, and it allows for complete flexibility for both the teacher and the student.